let's make sure everybody has the context. They put up stats of people's senior year. He's on a show with Jalen Rose, and there was another athlete, and then himself, and they put up. I think maybe it was JJ Redick. I can't remember, but they put up their senior year stats, and they put up Jalen Rose, and then JJ Redick. I think it was JJ Redick, and then Stephen A. 1.5 points, and everybody's laughing. And then Stephen A. jumps in and goes, well, what they're not telling you is the reason my scoring average was so low is because I only played one game and I hurt my knee and my career was over. And so he hadn't thought it through. You can't average 1.5 points in one game.
There has to be some way, some way they could take away 0.5 point. There's no way. And
so it's just these types of lies he's been getting away with. And so a few months later, he goes on his own podcast. He's off ESPN. Someone perhaps privately had told him, like, hey, man, this 1.5 point deal that you're out here defending, Stephen A., we've done the math. And so on his own private podcast, he doesn't really clean up the lie. Well, actually, he does. He goes and launches into this deal. It's all a lie. None of it's true. The 1.5 points not because I didn't play a single game. And so no one then addresses, like, well, why were you sitting on ESPN TV lying? Why have you been lying about this for years? And then when you actually do the research, they've done events at Winston-Salem State, promoting Stephen A. as this great former player, or not great player, but just former player, having pictured with former teammates, allegedly. And like one of these former teammates is a guy called Gary Stevens. Well, when you look him up, and the only reference I could find of this Gary Stevens during that time frame, he was a 6'3" guard. There was a recruit. The guy standing next to Stephen A. on the court claiming to be Gary Stevens is a solid 4 to 5 inches shorter than Stephen A., who is 6'1". And so it just doesn't add up. And it's so, but no one's asking these questions. And maybe it's not required. You know, Obama got away with a lot of fictitious stuff in his narrative. Mm-hmm. And so maybe it just doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's maybe if he lies, he's perfect for politics. Have we ever thought of this? Maybe he's the guy and he gets away with it. But there comes a time when they start vetting you. And the thing is, will the Democrat Party allow him to run the way that thing operates?
Yes, because here's why. Here's the upside for the Democrats. One, either they push Stephen A. through and he's the candidate and they have a puppet that they can control. He's a compromised candidate, got there undeservedly. He has to do what they tell him to do. The Democrats know they're bleeding male voters and that they're seen as an emasculated party. And so that's why Stephen A. is running around pretending to be this tough guy and all of that. And so they have a masculinity problem. But also, let's just say that the end goal with Stephen A. isn't to make him president, but is it to draw attention to the Democrat process? If he's in debate, how much do the ratings rise?
Yeah.
And they're hoping that it'll be significant just for people to come see the circus show with Stephen A. Smith. And so the Democrats have a problem. Their lineup is horrendous. It's all been emasculated. Mm-hmm. Tim Walz, feminine. Gavin Newsom, to some degree, feminine, has done all this support of the transgender issues and things that make it hard for men to access him. And so that's Stephen A., whether he gets the candidacy or not, he's there to help sell the Democrat Party as a more masculine party. And that's why I think they staged this confrontation between he and LeBron James. Man, they're pulling a lot of puppet strings in a lot of places trying to use Stephen A. Smith to give their party a pair of balls that they have cut off in the last 10 years, 20 years, 30 years.
They had Ty Sinnett on network TV with Stephen A, where Kai was saying LeBron's the greatest player ever, and then Stephen A gets to say, no, Michael Jordan's the greatest player ever. Like, what more popular person in the world could you associate yourself with? I'm the Michael Jordan candidate. I see the same stuff you see, Jason. But moving off Stephen A for just a minute, Jeremy Boring said, if Ben Shapiro cured cancer, Jason Whitlock would find something in it to bitch about. Now, as far as I know, Ben Shapiro has never cured cancer. In fact, he tried to smear every pro-peace right-winger as a white supremacist in 2016 and told people he wasn't voting for President Trump. Anyway, Jeremy Boring has since been fired as co-CEO of the Daily Wire. And I just wanted to know if you had any parting words for Jeremy Boring, the former CEO of the Daily Wire.
Jeremy's job was to protect Ben Shapiro's brand. And I think Jeremy planted the idea of, hey, the Daily Wire has an America First problem that we're not seen as, we're losing the MAGA crowd, and we're losing audience. Candace Owens has left, and she's more in alignment with the America First crowd and the MAGA movement. They lose Brett Cooper, another blow to them. Not that Brett Cooper was hyper political, but this is a major blow to them. And so they're losing the MAGA crowd, the America First crowd. They're losing the appearance of some ruggedness, a similar type masculinity problem that the Democrats have. They're seen as establishment. And so Jeremy Boring comes up with the bright idea: we're going to do the most MAGA masculine thing ever. We're going to lead a movement to get Derek Chauvin sprung from prison. And we're going to do it by demanding that President Trump give him a federal pardon. And I was like, whoa, this is really stupid. Trump's got a lot of things he needs to accomplish. And if he, in the first few months of his presidency, said, yeah, I'm going to go in here and offer a pardon to Derek Chauvin on the federal charges. It's like, well, all he's done is stir up a hornet's nest, promoted more racial division, the whole 9 yards, and he's accomplished nothing because those state charges are still going to stand,